Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. Speaking of which, we're going to play some Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2 today. I woke up ready to go. I wanted to play some War in the East 2. I also want to keep this game really moving, and I thought, we're in these mud turns. It's a lot of just organizing commands and things like that. There hasn't been a whole lot of action. The AI is not attacking in the rain. Now, there is a respite in the rain this turn, at least in the center of the map. Up here in the north, still raining a little bit, but our weather forecast is showing that by the end of the turn, if we go to weather air, it will be raining again. So that's good news for us. Now, I announced during the last video that if we make it to January 1st, 1944, and the Soviets still haven't taken another town, we're going to declare victory. At that point, the victory point conditions for them would go up to 650 points. That would make it almost impossible for the AI to mount some kind of offensive to take it. Now we still got to get there. I'm getting a little ahead of myself because the AI in the summer, they outnumber us at least 2 to 1 on the map. So they certainly can bring plenty of forces to bear. So we're going to have to hold them off. But anyway, we are going to at least play this through January of 44. And hey, if they make some advancements and it looks like they're going to win the game, I'm going to play it until it's obvious that we're either going to win or we lose, one of the two. But I wanted to move through some of these mud turns as fast as we can, within reason. I mean, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to try to. I guess last time I forgot to put Gross Deutschland back in the reserves. My bad. Every once in a while that'll happen on a map this size. I will try to remember this time. All right, let's start right up at the Narva line. We've already done our air planning and then air execution. So now we're in the ground combat or move mode here, which is part 4 of our turn. And the Narva line continues to sit and hold as it has for, I don't even know, 18 months maybe now at this point. We initially took Leningrad, had to fall back from the first winter offensive from the Soviets, fell back here to Narva, and then along the river and into the swamps and over the woods to grandmother's house we go. We've been sitting here for a long time, and you can see our defensiveness up here. We have got, and let's take the depots off so we can see, 34 in Narva, level 3 fort. 27, which isn't great, certainly. You really, when you're playing defense like this, you just don't want things to fall below 20. Below 20, you're really inviting an attack. But as it is here, the Soviets would have to go across this river, which is a major river, into a level 3 fort with a division that, while not at full strength, certainly, it's at about 2/3 strength, still could hold its own, and so we're probably fairly safe there. Now they all go back to Lindemann here, who is in 50th Corps, and he has got 10 of 10, which means he's got 5 divisions. Each division is 2 points to command, assuming it's the same nationality. We've got 58th ID sitting back here. I was hoping they would rebuild a little bit on the map, as we've discussed many times, because we've got so many things in the reserves trying to rebuild. Not a whole lot is matriculating, if I want to use my big fancy thesaurus, not a whole lot is matriculating out to the map. And so, we're not really rebuilding much on the map. So I'm going to continue to let that sit here. I don't want to really send it. Well, we could rail a new. Actually, why don't we do that? Why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and put this back in the reserves? It's sitting at 51%, and we'll just remember that. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll go back almost immediately and do that. So let's send 50, whoops, that's not what I meant to hit. Transfer unit, and let's go back to the Axis reserves. And what I'm going to do instead is go down here where we have some of our new rebuilt units. Now these aren't now that is 1/15th ID that I meant to sit back to the reserves last time. I guess I got a little ahead of myself. But let's send 15th ID back to the Axis reserves as well. But let's take one of these new rebuilt units. I don't know. Let's take 162nd. That looks like the weakest potentially. It is sitting at an 86 TOE. Let's put that on a train and let's take that up to Lindemann here. All right, we'll just hit the space bar. Uh, Now he's going to go into 50th Corps, and we've got a brand new rebuilt division there. We'll eventually get this off the train. We can't do it. We need 100 strategic points. Although here at Sonda, we probably need less, right? Because it's got a rail yard. Yeah, we need 55. Well, it just so happens we only have 51. We'll take that off the train next time. We'll probably replace this unit, let this sit back here. Maybe it'll get a little refit, maybe it won't, but we'll do that next time. All right, so the Narva line continues to stay the same. Not a whole lot more to say about that. 16th Army, he's at 30 of 30. Who is he? It's Ferdinand Schörner. Schörner, just amazing stats. I've heard he was really a piece of work in real life, but for the game purposes, he's a hell of a general. Okay, he's sitting out here at Tartu. I just like to say that. It sounds like a Star Wars name. He's sitting at Tartu, hanging out. What else is there to do? We really haven't just seen a whole lot of action at Narva. Now, at the land bridge, the Soviets appear to have brought a decent sized force here, which is interesting. This has been a constant cause of concern for a very long time out here near Lake Peepus, another name that I like to say, and Lake Pskov. And so we've only got a Jaeger regiment and a Luftwaffe field division sitting here. So total, we've got, I don't know, what is that, about almost 8,000 men, not quite. They're in pretty good shape. As you can see, 80 on the TOE there. The field division's at, oh, not such a good shape. 44. Well, that's not great. But they are throwing up a 21 defense. You can see I've got a fortified unit in here as well that is showing unready. Let's put that on refit and just see if we can get a few more men in there potentially. The fortified units, some of these have really gotten kind of ground down, or at least never built to where I guess they weren't ground down, they just never built to where they should be. They're at 45, 46. It's not great, but 21 should stop the AI from launching an attack, although he has brought a stronger unit here. Certainly it was a rifle corps. Yep, the 37th Rifle Corps. We'll see. Now, I'm not as concerned about that as I have been in the past because we have got a lot of firepower around here, including panzer divisions that are sitting just off the line that could certainly turn around here and try to blunt any kind of attack. They've also got to go across a major river here into a level 3 fort. We'll see. Not expecting it, but could happen. Certainly. Okay, so 16th Army, that looks perfectly fine. That includes my guy, Theobald Lieb, the man of the monocle. Very good general, and he should have all of his support units. Now, he is only commanding these guys, so these support units, you may argue, are maybe a little wasted on him and could go somewhere else, but I'm going to leave them right here. Our other commands here are sitting in this depot area, Petsira in Estonia. We've got 13th Panzer sitting here in reserve. He's hanging out. Now that's under Herman Bulk, but we'll get to Bulk in a minute. I'd rather talk about the 42nd Corps under Brandenburger, who's also very good for morale and a good infantry and mech general for that matter. Now he's got these stacks, meaning these stacks are under von Arnim, and Hans Jürgen von Arnim has been out here for a long time. So he's only a 6 morale and 5 initiative. I find that a little strange. I mean, he was the head commander in North Africa for after Rommel left. But anyway, that's fine. I mean, we're not really looking for much initiative here. We've been sitting here in Pskov for a very, very long time. We do have a level 3 fort here. You can't see that because the rail is up. Let's get off the rail. There we go. Level 3 fort. The Finns, I always salute the Finns. I hug Finnish people when I meet them because these guys have just stood so tall. They're an X for defense here, meaning over 100. Their TOEs sit at 87, 81, 85. They've got Stugs attached, one Stug attached. We've got two Stugs attached. And we've got a mixed flak battalion, which also serves some anti-tank purposes. Not that you would necessarily expect a tank assault on an urban area, but hey, whatever. It gives a little bit of, gives a little bit of flak, anti-air, and also would protect against some tanks because it's got the 88 millimeter gun. Okay, I mean, there's absolutely zero to do with that. Now, you may say, why does von Arnim have 9 command points? Well, that's because he's commanding Finnish units, which cost 3 points each for a division to command. All right, the previously mentioned von Arnim. Did I say von Arnim? No, Brandenburger. Von Arnim's Pskov. Brandenburger. He's got 8 of 10. Okay. He's got plenty of howitzer, cannon, howitzer, flak, including some mixed flak. He's got a Stug, pioneers, construction. He's got it all, Mr. Brandenburger. And if we look at these units, 14,000, 7,000. So this is down at 45% TOE. The 102nd is. The 302nd, though, is looking pretty good at 85. I just brought that on the line. Now, these will retreat as they sit here next to Soviet forces. Then here, though, we've got 2 really ground down units, 48% TOE, 46% TOE. We really need to bring another unit up this way. Now, I have been leaving this here even though it's not very strong, because right behind it we've got 13th Panzer sitting on reserve, that which should help them in a battle, but on the chance that it doesn't get called in from the reserve, at least they can't push all the way to the lake, at least not very easily. And so we're just going to leave that, but we do need to note this right here. We need to get a new division in here. That's down to 28. I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay. We have another sort of ground down division, the 126. That's sitting at 51, but it's sitting with 3rd Panzer, which is also under Brandenburger. And I guess now is the time to discuss did I say Brandenburger? Bulk. Boy, I'm getting my commanders mixed up out here. You can't do that. You're going to offend someone. That is Herman Bulk. He is head of the 57th Panzer Corps. He has got 10 of 10, including some infantry. The one infantry we talked about there, that one there, he's got a Panzer Division, Panzer Division, Panzer Division, and then 2 infantry divisions. He's a fantastic general, one of the best mech generals in the game. 3rd Panzer looks quite good. We'd rather not have them sitting on the line, but we really don't necessarily have a choice right now. Okay, the 333rd ID is sitting here looking very good. Just brought up here not too long ago. It's sitting at a 93% TOE. I probably would rather have that maybe down here, but I'm going to leave it here for now because the longer we let them sit, the more combat prep points they get, the harder they are to assault. This is a problem. This is first ID. It's 6991. He's sitting at a 44 TOE. Now he's throwing up a 25 defense just because he's in a level 2 fort, really. And then we have another, the 377th here, which isn't in great shakes either. This is in a swamp. That's why I'm there. And this is clear. Well, I think let's just go ahead and double stack here until we can figure out a better thing to do. That bumps that up to 40. I like that better. Now, this is only a 25, but it just got here, and it doesn't really have any combat prep points. I mean, 10 out of a possible 100, and so we're just kind of waiting until that builds that up. But that is that. Oh, I'm sorry, it's this one here. But that is a fairly strong unit. 14,848. It's one of our reconstituted units. Now, we do have under Bulk 19th Panzer sitting back here in reserve, not in great shape, but he's not doing a whole lot. He's just sitting back here. This is in the light woods. He's building a fort level, just hanging out in reserve. Maybe he'll get thrown into battle at some point. Totenkopf is out here. Now, Totenkopf got brought on the map. We brought no, that's not right. Totenkopf was right up here in this hex for a very long time because this infantry was not strong enough. We finally got a division up here so Totenkopf could get off the line, and now Totenkopf is sitting up here in reserve. We're waiting until the rain subsides, then we'll take these SS mech units and try to maybe mount some kind of offensive. We'll see. That's the hope. That's the idea. Here we've got LAH, SS Panzergrenadier as well, and you can see these guys are going back to the SS Panzer Corps underneath Felix Steiner, who's very political. So good to lead the SS. He's also got a 9 for morale, as many SS unit or commanders do. 7 mech, 7 infantry. Very good SS general. So we've got Totenkopf, we've got LAH. Now he's sitting over the top of Otto Wehler. Otto Wehler then has these infantry units here. He's got 131st ID, which just came on the line, 15.8 for the men. He's got a 90 TOE. That looks great. 251st. That's a reconstituted unit. That's good. And then if we put these together, we've almost got 14,000 men. We probably need to replace this with a single division that's actually in decent shape. But we've got a lot in reserve back here that I'm hoping can play center field if something breaks through, if there's some kind of attack coming up. Okay. Then we've got another SS here, the Das Reich. There is Das Reich. But I had brought this brand new division in here to take the place of Das Reich. And so let's move that infantry in there and let's move Das Reich off the line, doing kind of the same idea. And what we're going to do here, let's put the depots back on because I just wanted to look and see if I thought we needed to build, any additional depots. That depot's in the swamp. Okay, depot there. I think this all looks good. This may be a little further back than we would like, but I don't think there's any place necessarily with a rail yard or something that's going to makes sense to build another depot up here. This is probably fine. Then we have one here. As I said, we want to pull Das Reich back to play center field, but let's see what we've got back here. We've got 4th Panzer Grenadier Division. Fantastic. As you can see, we're really starting to build up here with some of these SS. Well, I put this in the SS. It is an SS unit. So he's now got 8 of 10. He's got 4 SS units that can do some damage when we want them to. Now let's look at this again. 15,000, 14,000. That all looks pretty strong. We got a Panzer division there. I don't necessarily think that we need to keep this down here any longer. As a matter of fact, I'm going to scoot this down to... Now the problem is I do have Valor here. I could always scoot him back one. Into the light woods. Yeah, let's put the headquarters back in the light woods just in case they break through. I don't want him to get disrupted. And let's move this down here in the clear so we're a little more straight up in front of Riga, and we'll put that on reserve. And let's take the headquarters, the SS headquarters. We'll move it up one to there. And then I think what I really wanted to do, now I didn't want to give up this depot, and it's also across the river here. Well, this is going to get off the train. 4th Panzer Grenadier, another SS mech unit, but I wanted to move that down here, let's say. I don't want it to go directly in there, but I want to get this motorized unit off of here. But oh, yet another Panzer division. All right, well, let's take this Panzer Grenadier division and let's say, wait a minute. So that's a Luftwaffe field division that I have just kind of sitting here. It's not necessarily doing anything too important. Now that is under 38th Corps. That's Hartmann, a very good infantry general. And then this motorized unit goes back to 47th Panzer Corps, which is now under von Senger und Ederlin, who is a good mech general, because of course he is. But I want to get these guys moving south a little bit. I mean, I could put the Panzer Grenadiers right on the line, at least for now, until I get more infantry up here. I guess I'll do that. I don't necessarily love that. But I'd rather do it there, I think. Yeah, let's put 4th Panzer Grenadier there for now, just for now. And then let's back the motorized up, just so I keep it in mind, because I want to take Unetterland down this way, right? And so he's kind of, more guarding this area as I set up this defense of things just sitting in reserve, including now Das Reich, which is going to get off the line. Now that is swamp. You want them in clear hexes, really, if you can get them there. This is clear hex that we could put this in. I think I want to go quite that far. Maybe here. Maybe here. Let's go there. All right, and we'll keep this on reserve for now. I want them all kind of right in this area. As a matter of fact, why don't we take, maybe I will move that back up. Yeah, let's go right there. And we'll set the headquarters right on top of that again. I had moved it back, but I think let's put it there. It's off the line. It's not getting treated. It can sit on reserve. Let's make sure we've got these all in reserve. Reserve, reserve. He's on refit. That's not what we want. Reserve, reserve, reserve. We did it. Okay. Now then, let's go back to movement points because we can obviously go a long way, and Unetterland can start bringing units south here on this line. So I don't know, something can sit right here with him, I guess. We've also, oh, we've got a field division back here. That could probably go do something else. But for now, I'll just keep it there. Something could probably sit with him, but I think I may take him a little further south. I've also got 8th Corps here. I've got 22nd Panzer, which really could go back to the reserves. What is 39? Yeah, let's put the 22nd Panzer back into the reserves. All right, off you go. That's been needed to be rebuilt for a long time. This motorized then, I think I'll bring all the way down here. All right, let's do that. And then let's take the Panzer Division and put it here. And we're starting to get this kind of, more better defensive line, because now these reserve units can go out within 6 hexes and help. Make sure he's on reserve. And let's take Unetterland and move him south as well. Go sit right there. Okay, that gives that more capacity. It's feeding a lot of troops out here. Field Division and a Panzer Corps. We've got Das Reich. Okay, so you can see how this is all setting up, right? Infantry here, except for this one Panzer Grenadier Division, which I will get off the line eventually. Back here, we've got 18th Army, 28 of 30, 2nd Panzer, 22 of 30, Army Group North, 80. That all looks good. One thing I did want to make sure, he's got support units. Nah, not really. Not really. He needs a little bit more, especially if we're going to go on the offensive with the SS Corps. Okay, as we move down here then, let's take a look at the infantry really quickly. Again, this is under, why do I always forget his name? It's Hartman. Hartman. I know that. 38th Corps. Assigned support units, that all looks good. Let's see just what he could get out of 18th. Nothing. Nothing really. Um, Now we could leave this open, but I've got a depot built here. It's right across the river. I don't want the Soviets to get another toehold across the river here, especially since we would have to attack them across the river. That's why I'm staying here. But eventually we need to get an infantry unit in there. And could that come in under him? Well, he's 10 of 10. But we could certainly give this to, yes, to Valor, because he's only 8 of 10. So we need to get another infantry up there, but I'm really trying to focus on the south right now. Um, okay, so this Panzer Corps, not in great shape. If we go and look at its elements, it's got 21 3Ns, 5 4 F2s, and 7 3Ns. Well, so it's got 33 decent tanks. Okay. Well, good to know. Good to know. Moving on. We got a brand new division there. Pretty much a reconstituted or new division there. New division there. Reconstituted division there. When I say reconstituted, I don't mean that they took part, basically it went back to the reserves at some time. Anything that's under like 16,900, which is the brand new German division, has been put in the reserves or somehow otherwise refit. And so, anyway, that's what I mean. I don't mean necessarily they took scraps from other divisions and reconstituted one, if you want to get technical. Okay, this all looks good. And then we'll go back here to 8th Corps eventually, but I want to look at each of them. That looks fantastic. These guys, not so great. These guys look okay. Let's go to defensiveness. That total is 24, 22. He's a 97. Okay, you go, big guy. Uh, level 2 for level 2. It's really nice. This not so nice, not as good. 24. Then we go to a 41 in the swamp. I want to make sure that's in the clear. That's our problem, right? So this is light woods. Probably should be behind the river in this swamp. That'd probably be the best place to be, but I'm not moving the line now, not with fort levels like this. Swamp, clear. What is this hex? Clear. Okay, well, we just didn't really have a choice there. That's quite a bit of Soviet firepower, but we've got the Panzer Division there. This is swamp. I tried to get in swamps and heavy woods wherever I could. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Okay, we're on to Ninth Army now, which is under Walter Model. You can see here that is 7th Corps. 7th Corps is Gustav Fenn. He has got 4 divisions under his command, including, well, he's got this Luftwaffe Field Division. Tell you what, I really want to start disbanding some of these. We need the manpower. Um, he's unready. I could put him on refit. I don't really want to do that. I don't want. Now, since he's unready, I don't think we can disband him. Let's just put him back in the reserves. I'm not going to rebuild him. We may as well stick it back there. I'll think about disbanding it back there. Okay, so Gustav Fenn is sitting here. Probably, well, that's not on a rail line. I was going to say we should have a depot there, but it's not on a rail line. Got our depots there, depot there, which makes sense. There's no rail in this area, which is the problem. That's why they built a depot there and one up here. I think we're still all right. Gustav Fenn, he's fine. He's fine. So we've got 16,000, 65, 14,000. That all looks good. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to step away for a couple seconds. You probably didn't notice anything. Maybe your screen blinked or something. But anyway, back to it. We were right here in Ninth Army, and we've got Recknagel here. No, that's Gustav Fenn. How could I confuse Gustav Fenn with anyone? I'd be asking questions if somebody confused me for Gustav Fenn. Fenn has 6 of 10. He's just got these 3 divisions here. We're clicking on a brand new division there, and then we got the 2 weaker division. Okay, we talked about this. Not a whole lot we can do about that right now. They're only in a level 1 fort. They should build into a 2 very quickly, and when they do, that'll really pump up there. Maybe we can take one of them off the line at a time. But that's all Finn needs. He goes back to Ninth Army here. And you can see Ninth Army. That is under Walter Model. He is 30 of 30. Perfect. Just the way we want it. Now, he's got a core here. He's got a core here, and he's got a core, the aforementioned Mr. Finn. So that's going to stay there. And what I'm going to do instead is take 3rd Panzer Army and have it go sit up on this depot. Why is that? Well, the depot, it was reaching its capacity there. By putting the 3rd Panzer on here, we now increase its capacity and maybe get a little. This is notoriously tough area to get supplied, and if we hit on 8, you can see it's all coming out of this depot here. Interestingly enough, let's look at the rail. Let's take the units off. Ah, the rail goes out and around. Now it does go all the way into Vilnius. This yellow just means, we're next to Soviet troops. It doesn't get, you see the red here, and it would get cut there, but this is a spur that's hanging off there. And so, I mean, that would not be affecting it going into Vilnius, but for whatever reason, they're not sending, freight all the way in there. Now, you can get food and bullets through there, you just can't get troops next to Soviet troops. Well, okay, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not exactly sure why they wouldn't go ahead and send it down the rail there, but it's just coming out by. Oh, well, one thing is when it's within 3 hexes, they don't have to send out trucks. It's done by horse, right? So maybe that's the game did the algorithm and said, well, we'll just send this out by horse. No reason to send it down this rail. Okay, I just made up a story. We'll see. Who knows if that's true. Uh, but by moving Third Panzer up here, we now then up the capacity, and maybe some more of this will come out. As you can see, it's only supplying this one unit. Maybe we should actually make that a 4 as well, because it's, as close to the front as we can really get. There is a rail spur that goes up to here, but if we look at Ukmerje, I'm just saying that's how the locals pronounce it. Uh, there's no rail yard here, so I'm just going to leave it here. I'll turn that into a 4, and hopefully it'll start supplying maybe this and maybe this. I don't know. This is probably closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over a river. So maybe it would just be these 2 units, but may as well make this a 4. Why not? Let's do that. Okay, so that's up here, but the problem is Third Panzer Army. It's got von Manstein here, but the other unit that it is still in command of, I guess I should have changed this last time. Not that it really made any difference whatsoever, although I guess it could have affected their supply, is we have got 39th Panzer Corps moved all the way south down here just because we didn't have enough Panzer commands, or at least I didn't think we did. We'll check it out when we get down here. But this, we're going to have to flip over its command because obviously way out of command going out back up to 3rd Panzer Army, which only has 12 of 30 now. Von Manstein has 6 of 10. He's got this Panzer division, which is in actually really good shape, 18th Panzer. It's got this motorized, which isn't in such good shape. That is got a TOE of 45. Well, we gotta keep that on here, I think, unless we were willing to bring this new the GD motorized up here, which I guess we could, but I really want as much to go to the south as possible. One thing I think I'll do is maybe move this here, and we'll keep it on reserve. And von Manstein, a very good general, should put it into battle where appropriate. That's on reserve. Okay, that's all fine. So we looked at Fenn. Let's look at Rindelich first. Excellent general, 878 with an 8 on the ground. You want him doing infantry, although he could take some mech if worse came to worse. But you can see he has got all of the defenses in and around Vilnius, and he has 10 of 10, so he's got 5 divisions total here. Now let's look at those divisions. This one's at 9870. Now, luckily, it's in heavy woods. Its TOE is sitting at 61. Certainly not the worst unit we have on the map. And it's going to continue to sit here. I mean, that's a very defensible place. They would have to go across the river to attack from the northeast. This is just a cavalry unit, not too worried about that. When we get into Vilnius itself, we've got a brand new division here, the 320th, sitting in, and if we take this off, it's a level 2 fort now. Again, these should build. We just got them back here out of what at one time was the Moscow salient, became the Smolensk salient, became the Minsk salient, and has now become the Vilnius line. So these guys, they know how the reverse works on their trucks. Um, okay, so we got this nice division in here. We could actually maybe take this off the line. It's at 45 if I on the TOE. If I back it up one, could we get it out of here? No. Okay, let's undo that really fast. Let's go look at everything else. We got a brand new division here. Well, is that brand new? I just can't remember. 39th ID. This is a clear hex, unfortunately. Fortunately, though, it's in a level 2 fort. So that's pretty good. And I've got the Panzer and the motorized directly behind it. It's just going to have to hold there. I mean, that's obviously not greatest terrain to try to hold, but it's going to have to. That's why I said I want to scoot out so we can get behind the river. Now, that's not going to have a huge effect here because this is also a clear hex. But here we would get into light woods and we would be behind a minor river at least. Here, that's light woods as well. Okay, well, maybe I just argued against myself. I'm not sure. That's only showing a 9 because it hasn't had a chance to build a fort level yet. Here we've got 11,325 with the TOE of 70, and we've got TOE of 33. Ouch. Well, I want them to get to a level 2 fort before we pull anything off the line. Um, so I'm going to wait, and then we'll take that weaker division, pull it off the line, and send it to the reserves. Now, 34th ID is only in a level 1 fort. It's got a 42 TOE, blah, blah, blah. But luckily, we've got zone of control here and some zone of control here for this, what I would imagine is a fairly strong mech unit. It's showing as 8 and 8. It's got a little bit of orange for its supply. Who knows if that's actually accurate? But these mech units can tear some stuff up, so we've got to be careful there. But even if he were to blow him back, we do have some zone of control. We've also got this motorized that can jump around and try to hold that. Now one thing, okay, so this is von Manstein. We've got the FBD here, Super Depot in it, back in Kaunas. We've got Ninth Army Modal sitting there. He has got a stray headquarters. This is the 27th Corps. Now, some of these guys, I want to strip out their support units. I want them to move up the chain. Now, this would move into Ninth Army. So if we go look at Rindelich, for instance, he's got all of his support that he needs. Then we would get into Walt Weiss, who has the next group here. Now, he's only at 6 of 10. I honestly would probably rather Weiss have that rather than Recknagel. So 8757. Okay, what's Walt Weiss? He's better than that, I think. 8778. All right, so the more that Walt Weiss has, the better, certainly. Now we could mess around here a little bit. We could give Rendelich something, but we've got a double stack there for now anyway. So Walt Weiss, I'm actually going to move back onto this depot. You may as well have headquarters on depot. Now that didn't help the capacity really, but you may as well have headquarters on depots. It can help the capacity, uh, especially the higher up you go in the chain of command, right? So this is just a core headquarters, not going to make much of a difference. If you get up to Army Group Center, for instance, it makes a huge difference, or Ninth Army. Well, the FBD is making the huge difference there. But anyway, back to my point is he could take one, two, three, four, one, two, three. Okay, can I count is the question. He could take two of the divisions down here, and that would then scoot Recknagel around. Um, do I want to do that though? Is maybe the question. I mean, you're talking about really small differences, certainly, but it could help us pass one dice roll, and we may want to bring more Germans in here. So I think I am going to do that. I think I'm going to move him over here, and then, uh, with the intention of maybe moving him south a little further eventually. Um, and then I think Walt Weiss, then from here, so that's Sixth Corps. That's 83, 85. I mean, that's not great. He's only throwing up a defense of 4. This 88, 59, 56 on the TOE. We've got 48 on the TOE. We've got not a very good division there. I thought they were a little better. I'll be honest with you. All of these guys are not looking great. We might be better to take this and double stack. What I'm worried about is this moving through here, but I think maybe what we could do instead of me moving that there, which I did, is moving it back on this road and then double stacking there, giving this also to Walt Weiss, all right, so that we don't take the mismatch penalty. So let's put that back in 6 core. And then maybe I will leave this with Recknagel. It's getting a little far away here. Let's make sure. Yeah, he's got what he needs. Does Ninth Army have some other stuff? It's got a heavy howitzer battalion in there that we're not using currently. He's looking pretty good though. Let's check out Weiss again. He could use another flak or a mixed flak. Let's take the best one. That's another mixed flak that's sitting up at ninth. We may as well take that. Let's make sure Rindelich is all good as well. And he's got what he needs, certainly. Okay, I think we're pretty good there, which means we can take from modal then. He's got this art. Oh, that's von Manstein. Don't do that, my friend. There's Walter Modal. Let's take this and pop it back up to OKH. I've been looking around for some support units. Here's some that we could, potentially use. So let's pop these guys back up to OKH, and then next time they can be pushed back down somewhere. Um, okay, so, on reserve. No, he's ready because I moved him. Always remember that if you move something, it moves up. So if this did come through, it runs into the zone of control. I mean, I could stick it right here, but I really don't want it on the front line treating. It's not in the best shape in the world. I've got this Panzer division behind these guys because they're really not very good either. I mean, 9. What is this? If we take this off, it's 16, and that's mainly because it's in this fort level. An 8. Now this is pretty good because it's in heavy woods. That's a 20. Okay, so I think that's Ninth Army. There's not, until we mount some kind of offensive, I want to do an encirclement right here. Um, and at least try to push the line out a little bit. For instance, we can get into these heavy woods here, or we could just sit behind the river. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I want to sit right behind this river, almost all the way up here to Vilnius. So if we can, go right on this line, but that's probably going to take an encirclement. We'll see where we could potentially break through, but that's quite a number of Soviet troops, and I think we could really weaken his line there. So okay, we'll get back to that certainly in future turns. Now we've got Hungarian armor here. It is sitting in the light woods. Well, that's not terrible. He's kind of behind everything. He's sitting in reserves. He goes back to 7th Hungarian, which is 10 and 10. This is Messi, 645. He's terrible mech general, though. Okay, do I have somebody better? Well, let's find out. So that's 7th. Well, I don't really have another headquarters in the area. Now, that's 5 of 10 in 3rd Corps. Let's see what Rakovsky looks like. He's a 3 mech as well. You're not going to find good Hungarian mech generals. They don't exist, really. Now, we could move von Manstein down and try to get a hold of him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Von Manstein would at least have to be here. 3, yeah, he can't get to that one then. Um, Now we could move this, I don't know, back into the light woods here, but I don't really want to do that. As a matter of fact, I mean, I don't want him to get a toehold across this, right? But I think we can move this down here and then put it back on reserve. All right, there we go. We've got depots on. We've got a depot right here. That is a 4. It did get some stuff, and you can see it supplied a lot. So, okay, perfect. We've got this security unit that's not strong enough to be there. Is that in the mud? That's a clear hex. Okay, well, Hell's bells. I think we're going to go ahead and double stack there anyway. We've got another strong unit there. Let's double stack there since we're liking that depot. We've got another cavalry unit that's sitting here. Now, he is going back to this other Does that make sense? Well, I think it's got to be that way because everything else up here is under the other command. Okay, well, he's up there, and I think then we can move. Oh, we've got more Hungarian. Oh, these are those brigades that jumped up. Let's just move him back on the rail a little bit, make sure everything's good here. This should really be on reserve, this cavalry. The Hungarian cavalry is pretty decent, 12,000 men here. We've got heavy woods, which is giving most of our defensiveness there. We do have a German unit here, this Jaeger Corps. Now that's on the rough. I wanted to stay there, right? Rough, heavy woods. So let's actually double stack right there. Yes, could he move through here? He could. He could. But I think we'll take this Luftwaffe field division and maybe put it in the rough there, and then take the headquarters. Let's move it across the river onto this depot. Um, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he's got 8 of 10. This is 68th Corps under Lance. We'll give you to 68th Corps. Perfect. All right. So we've got Germans in the area. That's what we wanted. Lance sits here. This is clear. Gosh darn it, I want these guys in the mud, or in the marsh, the swamp. I don't like having Hungarians across from mech units, especially with the tank corps here, 2 tank corps. But in the heavy woods, hopefully they'll build. Oh, you know what? No, 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 no. Heavy woods. That's rough. That's why I wanted to stay there. But I could put the Hungarians there and move this German unit down here. Does this other unit have enough to get there? He does. Can you get to the heavy woods? You can. And then we've got the Luftwaffe Field Division behind them. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So that's going to be, 22,000 Hungarians over here in the rough. And then we'll take the German unit, the 5th Jaeger, and put it in these heavy woods. All right. And now that kind of, gives us a real ball of Hungarians here. Now, you may argue, hey, listen, you should probably split them up a little bit. And that's probably true, but this is the most defensible territory. We go rough, swamp. That one's clear. Well, I don't like that. Um, we could put these brigades maybe with him. I mean, that gives us another 10,000 men. Who do you go back? Well, they can't get all the way there. Not this turn, anyway. They're going to have to come around here. Well, I mean, we've got the armor right here. That's only a 1 defensive. How is that possible? Well, it is what it is, as they say in the business. And we've got another corps here that can come up. All right, let's bring these brigades, get them start moving out here. They can't move very far. We've got yet another. Oh, that's that one Hungarian corps. And then we've got a free Hungarian corps that goes down to the Hungarian army. Are all of these guys in? He's 14 of 15. You can see there, 14 of 15. So that works, okay, with the 3rd Hungarian army down there. And then we just kind of had this like random, Hungarian headquarters. Do we need it down here? I don't think so. He's 10 of 10. These guys have stood tall. They've actually, I mean, they've got a real nice defensive score there. We've got this kind of odd unit, 3rd SS Estonian. I'm not really sure why it's here. Let's train it up to the SS. I think the headquarters is there. Well, let's just put it in with the headquarters for now. He can't get off the train this time, obviously, but he's going to go into the SS Panzer Corps. Oh, you know what? Undo that. I think this needs to go back to the reserves. I mean, it's got 98 men. What in the world? I'm sorry. You guys probably remember. I don't know what the history of that is. Why was that just sitting out there with 98 men? I feel like that just came on the map. Um, Gosh, I just don't remember. I don't remember what that was all about. Well, okay, it doesn't really matter now. We've now got him going elsewhere. We've got a Luftwaffe Field Division Corps here. I'm going to. What's it look like if he just moves? Let's move him here. I'm not sure. I may need him somewhere eventually, but I don't need him right now. Um, we've got the one field division, but I put it into this core, 68th Corps. So I'm just going to leave that. There's a field division, and there is 53rd Corps, which also doesn't really have a command right now. We also have Ernst's Highway to Hell, and we've got 4th Army that's moved down here. Oh, that's right. Okay, so 68th went in here. Now we've got 52nd Corps. That is under Bourget. No need to remove Bourget, certainly. He's 8 of 10. He could also take something else if needed. So Ernst Hell, I'm going to move him one. 4th Army, he's got everybody in command. I'd really like him to be on a depot, though. Why do we not have a good depot to set him on? Well, I mean, I could move him here, certainly, or I could move him right here. Why don't I put him right there behind the river for now? That ups that capacity. And then Ernst Hell, I mean, there's not an obvious place to put him. Let's just set him right behind here. And then we've got the 3rd Field Corps because we have this 1st Division, but I don't think we need to have that in there. Lance has got 10 of 10 though. Well, okay. Then we've got 8 of 10 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that works. So that's going to go into 52nd Corps. Cool. All right, we'll put that into 52nd Corps. Okay. And then 53rd Corps is currently not being used. He can go sit over here with Ernst Hell. Well, why do that? Back that up. Um, we may as well just stack those guys together. And then I've got this Luftwaffe Field Division headquarters that doesn't have anything to do, just like the other one. So we've got 2 Luftwaffe Field Division corps doing nothing. We've got our main depot here, the depot magnet. We might be better off to put that someplace else. We've got a real lack of depots down here. Just looking what's being supplied out of here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That all looks good. This is to a 4, but okay. I mean, that's going to happen somewhere. I'm actually surprised it's not being supplied out of here. I just wonder if we should make our super depot up here a little bit. Where are these guys getting supply? It's coming out of there, so it's flowing all the way down the rail. This is all working well. You can see it's all coming out of 4s there. I like that. Um, okay. Well, I don't know what else to do about that. I think I'm going to leave it exactly the same. We get to 52nd Corps under Bourget. He's got his support units. Let's take the 8 off, sorry. It's a little confusing when that's on. He's got, this unit is not strong, but he's in the heavy woods. That always helps. This is in the light woods, and he is vastly outnumbered out here. But that's almost a brand new unit. 84, I think that's one of the reconstituteds potentially. Down here we've got 35th, 11,000 men. Only 9,000 here, but he's not under direct assault. Now he'd probably be better off being in the swamp. What is this? Light woods? He would actually be better off here, but I wanted him to behind the river. But he will get such a boost being in the swamp. Hmm. I think that's where we had him before, and then I backed him up behind the river. But if they got into this hex, that wouldn't really matter. Um, let's look at this again. 15,000, 11,000. I really think he should be out here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to put him back in this swamp. He needs to start building a. Let's. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Um, It's not a particularly strong unit. We might be well off to get, another division over here somewhere. Now I'd put it there. That was probably. I mean, I could always move him back. That would be certainly wasteful. I'd rather him be in the swamp. Let's just leave him there. Then we have swamp, swamp. I'm not going to move these guys at all. They are the Hungarian Iron Fortress right there. Now, why does this place not have a depot? Is it not on the rail? No, it's on the rail. Let's build a depot there. Create a depot there. Yep. Okay. Let's put that on the rail and maybe it'll pick up some of these. Now there's not a rail yard there, so keep that in mind. Here I had him scooted out a little bit because ultimately if I backed him up here, they could get in and around here at what is that, Lvov? No, it's Koval. Why did I think that was? What am I, an idiot? He's in the heavy woods here. It's a almost, uh, relatively speaking, a pretty full division. 84 there, that's fine. We've got the motorized that's just chilling in town on reserve. We've got 10,000 there. We've got 15,000 there. Swamp, light woods, but behind a river. We've got deep, deep woods, heavy woods there. Here is Second Army. Now, I need to go up and get these two. Well, let's grab this one first, put it on the rail, and move these cores down here to get in and around with Second Army. I'm hanging out with Second Army. Um, because let's look again at Fourth Army. So we can do that by seeing where the orange line goes. It's only at 20 of 30. He could actually pick up this Hungarian group, but no, that'd be 3 points. Actually, you can't. Who's in charge of the second Hungarian army? Beregfi. Okay. He's a 5 infantry at least. I'll take that, but he's not good for morale. I think it's the mustache. Is not good for morale. Second army, those cores. Now here's the thing. So we've got Busse 35th. We could release a lot of this if we're not going to use them. Fifth Corps, he's still got 2 command points. Who in the hell is he commanding? Oh, he's got a field division all the way up here. Well, let's put that field division. We'll just put it under Unetterland. That's fine. I mean, whatever. 47th. Let's do that. So you're in the 47th Corps now. If I can find, there it is. Boy, that almost fools me every time, those Roman numerals. I'm not Roman or Latin for that matter. Um, okay, that works. And now he doesn't have a command. I probably only need one of these. And I've got, support units there. I've got support units here. Let's pick the best of these three. Okay, that's von Manstein. Let's pick the best of these three, and we'll take him south. The other two, we're going to release their support units. Um, that's Hartneck. He's got a 7 morale and a 7 infantry. 7,567. Okay. Busse 7,567. Well, they're identical for the most, broadly speaking. 7657. Boy, that looks really familiar. Probably have the less political one, just in case we needed to replace. Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Of course, they're just all the same. Well, you know what? I like Busse's look. I'm going to take him south. So I'm going to take him down here by Second Army. And I guess I've kind of got to decide where Second Army is going to go. Where is 17th? That's only at 25 of 30, but we've got some guys that are out of command right in this area. Where is Kempf? There is Kempf. He's at 25 of 30. He's got everything, pretty well under control there. Um, but we could move that south certainly. So let's take Second Army. Let's do that part first and figure out where Second Army should go. Now he could take part of 17th, but I don't think it's really necessary. He could come in here at Stanislav. Army Group A has 106. Wow, okay. He's got that 17th. 17th could go back to Army Group Center though, right? Probably. Yeah, it could. Okay. Well, let's keep that in mind. I think we'll probably bring this into Stanislav? No, let's bring it into Lvov. Let's look here one more time. Army Group A. Yeah, let's bring second group army in here. All right, let's get off the train. And now he can take command of some stuff over here. And 17th Army, I'm going to kick back to Army Group A because not Army Group A, Army Group Center, because Second Army is going to go into Army Group A. So let's do that. Let's just put this in Army Group Center. He's going to be well with 45 hexes. Let's just make sure that's true. Let's make sure that's true. Um, let's call it 10, 20. Oh, that's Warsaw, you big dummy. Yeah, I mean, I guess he would be in. How much is Second Army even going to have to take? Is it going to be more than 14? Well, probably eventually. That's Army Group A. Where's Army Group South? South could probably take some from Army Group A as well. Where is Army Group South? That's a great question. Sixth Army would be going back to it. It's all the way back here. Oh, yeah, he's only got 45 to 20. Never mind. We don't need to do that then. Okay. I'm going to call this an episode. I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to probably put up another one later on. But want to keep these turns moving. So anyway, that's why I want to get this recorded through these mud turns instead of taking a lot of time to chat, which I do love. I really want to get this game finished. And when I do this next episode, I'm going to turn the turn, come back, come down the board again, and then we'll turn the turn together in the next live stream. So anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. Thank you so much for joining me. I will talk to you next time. Have a good one.